This is the biggest green man I've ever carved. It's 2 feet across, 24 inches, which is about 60 centimetres, and some 3 inches or 7 centimetres deep. It's an original design, and the commission was to do it in one piece of wood. So we have the heart of the tree and then a darker, more outside part of the tree across here. So there's a sort of dark side to this green man. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do it, and I hope you enjoy this carving. I certainly did. Here's the original green man. I carved it about 20 years ago and later wrote it up in this book, Elements of Woodcarving. It's been a very popular design. I've carved many versions of it over the years, and each time I've made it a little bit different. So this drawing here is open to you to change. You can make these leaves how you like, so don't feel you have to actually copy this. Well, I've taken a photocopy from the book here, and it's this photocopy that I'm going to use as the basis of my design. This drawing shows half of the carving, and obviously it's a lot smaller. You could take this to a printer who will blow this up for you and give you a working drawing full size as you want it. But I didn't do that. I went to my own scanner and printer on my computer, and I blew up various parts and eventually got the size I want. And I think you can see all these 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 different pieces of paper there until I got the size I wanted. So it's a matter of proportion. I also changed the eye a little bit there. I didn't feel that was quite what I wanted, so I altered the eye. Then I stuck this onto a window frame, onto a window, the glass window, and I took another drawing from it, and then reversing it on the window frame, I took the other side. So here I have the whole working drawing at the size that I want, really big. And it does look rather confusing, I've got to say, all these lines, but we can certainly sort those out quite quickly. So now I've got my working drawing at this sort of size. I need to find my piece of wood. Here it is. It's a beautiful piece of English oak, air dried. It came from a specialist, a local specialist in timber. Very lucky to get it, because finding a piece of wood that goes all the way across at that sort of distance, 2 feet 60 centimetres, is quite unusual, especially to have it flat without any splits. I've had a look at the board, so I get my spoke shave and I take off a little bit, and you can see here that we've got sapwood. That's the outside of the tree, and we've got a big knot here, but otherwise it's really clean. And it does have a little bit of grain in it, a little bit of figure. So really, really lovely piece of wood. And my drawing is going to fit on it. So, and I've got to make a decision as to where I put this, because obviously I want to not be too wasteful with wood, but at the same time I've got a big knot there, and I've got the sapwood over there. So it's probably going to sit there in the board, and I've got a bit left over. And this will be used for something, I'm sure, rather than up here where I'm really tight and I've got this knot going on here. So that's going to be my position. So what I'm going to do is go and put a belt sander over that, just to clean some of that off, and cut out a big circle using the bandsaw and glue on my drawing as I normally do. So that's now been bandsawed out, and what I've done is on the bottom third, the back third, I've taken a spoke shave and just cleaned that up. You don't have to do all of it, because obviously this bit is going to be cut away between the leaves down to a background, and that background I have marked in with a line with my marking gauge, like so. So that now is the finished surface on the back, quite low down. We don't have, it's a relief, but all we've got is depth. We don't have a lot, so we're going to use as much as we can. Now I intend holding it with a carver's screw, quite a big one, and carving it vertically. So what I've done is, here's the centre line across here, this part, and I've dropped that on both ends over here, and I've run the line back, so I have a centre line on the back too. And the question is, where in the back am I going to put this screw? And the obvious place is where it's thickest, which is round about here. So I've measured this distance here, and on the other side, there's my line, and there's my distance here. So this is where I'm going to put the carving screw. So I'll put that in and lift my tilting bench up so I can carve this fairly vertically. I want to share with you something about this piece of wood. This is the offcut from the rest of the board, and we've got the end view here, and I've cleaned it up so we can have a look. This tree started life here. This is the centre of the tree at this point, and what you're looking at therefore is half the tree. There's another half behind me. So this, at the end of the day, was a substantial oak tree, a very big oak tree. And I've counted the annual rings all the way along to the other side. And if you look at these rings, you can see that they are perpendicular to the surface. And this is what is called quarter sawn. And this is the most stable sawing through a tree. It's not going to warp. So this is why this piece of wood is particularly flat. So I counted all these annual rings and I got to 160. And I know there's a bit missing up there, so give it another 10, call it 170. And the person who gave me this wood, or from whom I bought it, had it for at least 10 years. So we're talking about at least 180 years ago since this acorn first germinated here, which makes it about 1834. 1834, that's pre-Victorian, and I think it's just wonderful and humbling that I get to use a piece of wood like this.